All right, anybody know what this means? I don't either. 770 miles an hour is the speed of sound at sea level. Who can tell me what the first man-made object to break the speed of sound was made out of? Glue? Steel? Metal? Plastic? Anybody? It's actually made out of leather. It was actually the tip of a bullwhip in the 17th century. Spanish or actually Latin American cowboys. That sound of the bullwhip is actually the sound of that tip, the cracker, going past the speed of sound. How come you didn't get that one? Try this. You see this? Who can tell me the northernmost, westernmost, southernmost, and easternmost states in the United States of America? Maine over there in the east. Okay, good. South. Let's say south. South. Florida. West. Hawaii. Texas. No. North. Actually, the southernmost is Hawaii. The northern, eastern, and westernmost states are all Alaska, because of that little part of the Aleutian Islands that crosses the international 180-degree longitude line. The trick to all these questions is they play on the game of context. You didn't necessarily know what the actual answer is because you didn't know what the real question is. We play with what you think is there, and you would naturally assume, oh my goodness, it's the speed of sound. It's like that squeak outside the window. It's got to be an airplane. But it's not, because you don't actually go beyond the context of the question as it's asked. Same thing with movies. Everybody here that's seen Fight Club or Usual Suspects? You saw everything. You were fooled by the visual, by the story till the end, and you go, oh my God, these guys are so sad. It was one guy, not two. And you go, how did I not get that? Well, how did you get this one? This guy actually died in front of your eyes. I mean, he died in a death scene, coming way out like that, dead. But because we're not used to seeing dead people, except in ethnography presentations, you are completely fooled by the sixth sense. All of these little situations are about blinders, and the blinders that context puts on you. As a creative professional, that's the #1 thing to liberate yourself from. Because if you go into a situation with blinders on, you won't see what's there. You'll actually only see what you're expecting to see or what's expected of you to be seen. That's kind of the rest of this presentation. And when the slide catches up, I'll actually do the next one, which is a little experiment. Imagine that you are actually somebody that's working at one of the big comic book companies and Superman and all of that, and two guys with like no hair come in reeking of marijuana. And they pitch an idea. They want you to spend money around 4 mutated dime store turtles trained in ninjutsu and like named after Renaissance painters. You didn't buy it, did you? But you can look at that one of 2 different ways. You can look at that as a, wow, how the hell did that happen? Or as a $670 million mistake, because all the companies past, they self-published and kept all that money for themselves. The reality is, if you look at things that are trapping you by success, you won't see what's there. Like a CSI guy goes into a crime scene, if he's really paying attention, he doesn't look for anything. It's rule #1, because if you look for something, you won't see the clue that's there. When you don't look for something, you might actually see anything. And anything can actually crack the case. So let's try a little experiment. I'm going to ask you to follow some instructions with me. You don't have a piece of paper and a pencil, so I'm going to do it for you. This way you don't screw it up. Let's all take a piece of paper and a pencil out, pretend that we're doing a quick thing. Make a dot, make another dot, now connect them really fast, okay? That's simple, isn't it? How many of you, if I asked you honestly, would do one like the top one? Why don't you do one like the other one? I didn't tell you had to do it straight line. Unfortunately, that's what happens. Too many times we go into a situation like this and we follow, like lemmings, the actual directions that are given to us. And no one wants anything in a straight line. We got this guy, just get it done, get it done. Like, can we possibly just once do it a straight line? When in reality, the whole game is about how you connect those 2 lines. It's really all about breaking through the instructions or the context of the instructions in a way that you can actually create something unexpected. And that secret is the question. The way you break from context and those constraints is to ask a lot of questions. It's absolutely the easiest trick in the book. Well, how can I connect it? Where should it be connected? Why is it going to be connected? What's going to happen when I connect it? The more questions you ask, the more unique the solution you get to. If you would ask that question when I asked you about 770 miles an hour, that immediately starts making you think, all right, what are all the different things that were in the things that have broken the speed of sound, and maybe what other things might have broken the speed of sound? That's the kind of thought process that occurs when you ask questions and could possibly lead you to the proper answer, which was leather. Can you connect it with a different color line? Can you connect it with a wider line? Can you connect it with a Bluetooth device? Can you just rip it up and fold it and put it together and paste it together with spit? All of these things become possible if you ask questions. Those questions, technically, you are still connecting the dots. Can you do it with string? Can you do it with anything? Well, of course you can. But the first thing you have to do is say, why am I connecting it? What's going to happen? And I don't remember what else I was going to say behind this one, but I'm sure it was extremely erudite. But there's the string, and there's the other dealy bopper, and there's the thing. If you do connect it like this in the marketing world, what's going to happen is you're going to connect it in unique ways and create long-term relationships and brands that can actually, keep going and going and going and actually mean something. Surprise people and endear people and be something that's bless you. That's actually protectable. You notice I got the bless you within the 20 seconds. And I'll leave you with, you talked about tires and T. Rowe Price. I'll leave you with this. When you liberate constraints, could you put together something like symphony orchestras and toilets? Who can tell me how to do that?
Sound of the flush.
Which is in
The low.
E flat.